Saturday. It's wet here.
Yeah.
Like
very, very wet.
Really wet. I feel like we're in Washington State with Seattle or whatever with all the rain we're having. So we've survived. We're on higher elevation than I guess most of San Diego, if you want to look at it that way. So don't get me wrong, there's a little bit of flooding in our area and stuff like that, but
it's very little.
Yeah. Nothing compared to other places that are like swimming pools and swamps in the back of their yards.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Cars underwater.
Yeah.
All kinds of crazy stuff.
You told me there was a mudslide and actually covered cars.
Yeah, cars got mud slid in.
One of these days we will do a redneck video for you. It's very funny. Chris doesn't like to show that side of him very often, but I think it's hilarious. Anyways,
I'm sure you do.
Focus.
So what do you want to talk about?
I thought we'd talk about atelier. I said atelier. What? Atelier? No, it's
Atelier. Yes.
I just say it right?
Yes, it's French.
I know, but I thought I was saying something in Italian.
It's
so
probably atelier, not atelier, but anyway. It's a Japanese show with a French name about women's lingerie.
Oh my god, it's the best. It's the best. So, it's a Netflix. Sorry, my accents are really bad tonight.
Netflix.
Yeah. It's a Netflix.
You go on to Netflix and you watch some TV.
You might have to go to the bathroom a little bit more than normal, but you know, that's what happens when you take the flax.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Netflix original, and Chris just happened to find it a week ago. I feel like it's been a week.
Maybe 2 weeks.
Anyways.
It was not that long ago.
Timetable is not necessary this evening. So we just randomly found it, and obviously we have an obsession of Asian things.
Yeah.
So, and we're not typical Japanese drama watchers. We don't.
No.
We've
been hooked on. Yeah, we watch anime from Japan, and the dramas we watch are usually Korean.
Yeah.
So K-drama and anime, but
right.
Every once in a while
we'll find something.
Find a good J-drama to watch. So.
Yeah. So we like binged on it because the originals are all one season, and it was really funny. The first episode, you were kind of like, oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Well, the first couple of episodes.
True, but
took a little while to get off the ground.
It did, but it's not one of the normal shows that we would watch. We watched it because it was a J-drama. We thought it might be interesting, but it did take a while to get up off the ground. But it's still not one of those things that you would just recommend to anybody.
No.
Like, this is a very select few people that would enjoy watching this kind of show.
Right.
So, with that being said, watch it at your own risk.
Yeah.
It is quite funny.
I'll put a link to it in the description.
But it's a different kind of funny. It's not just like humor here or there. It had points of just, oh wow, that made me feel really good, and I'm glad that whatever. So
whatever.
Yeah, I've got something else I want to share with y'all. So go check it out if you want. It's about women's underwear. It's quite funny.
It is.
To us. Alright. So, again, Chris's magic fingers. Found a show.
It's not, let's never use that phrase again.
Is it called Superstore?
Yes, it's called Superstore.
Okay. So basically, if you looked at it, you'd be like, oh, hey, that's Walmart.
Yeah, I mean, it's about a Walmart-like store and the lives of the people that work there.
Employees. Yeah. Oh my god, you guys. So funny. So effing funny. Like, effing funny. And I can't talk more than that about it. But the dynamics, okay, I lied. The dynamics between everybody is just super funny. Jokes here and there.
Yeah, there's a couple of characters, though, that are just phenomenal.
No, I agree.
Everything they do is hilarious.
Yeah.
And,
Sorry, I just remembered something from what we watched last night.
I mean, it's good when you think of something and you just break into
God, I want
fits.
to tell you guys so bad, but you won't understand the context of it. But just go watch it, okay?
Yeah.
It's a show that almost anybody of our generation can watch.
Oh yeah.
My dad would probably enjoy watching it a little bit. My mom wouldn't. Your sister would love it.
Oh yeah, Jennifer and her family would love that.
Yes, they would. So
just get ready. I'm just gonna give you this one little piece of wisdom here. One little thing. My favorite line from any TV show now is from that.
That's what I thought of.
And it's just like, just watching and the guy like, sorry about your rape, dude. Like that's
what I wanted to share
it's
with
not
you
funny
guys.
without context.
Exactly.
But my God.
Oh my
Go
gosh.
watch it.
Oh, it truly is the best. If you have ever watched How to Train Your Dragon,
Yes.
which I did not say that well.
That's How to Train Your Dragon.
TV
show or movies.
Yes, you will recognize one of the characters off of Superstore because her voice was Astrid.
Yeah, and that was America Ferrera. That is as Heather said, it was the weirdest thing because her mouth would open and Astrid's voice would come out, and she's everything we've seen her in before this. Her voice has been attached to a tiny blonde Viking girl.
Yeah,
And
a white
she
girl.
is the epitome. She is the opposite in every possible way of that. And so she keeps talking, and we're like, "This is not right."
Oh, it was so distracting that first episode.
Oh, yeah.
If they didn't have the funny bits in that first episode, I just would have been thinking about Astrid the whole time, and I was just like,
I kind of was anyway.
How does she have a white girl's voice?
Yeah.
Like, how is that possible?
Yeah.
But so yeah, it's so funny.
It was a great show.
So funny. What's really amazing is that a lot of the actors in the show you have not really seen.
Yeah, I've seen one or two of them, but
right.
not
The general
a lot.
manager we've seen somewhere. I don't know where, but he looks familiar.
And the girl that's the security.
The security girl. Yeah.
She's very funny, and I've seen her in a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, I just can't think of where.
She's usually a crazy person, which is what she is in that
Which
show.
is a perfect
really
role
good.
for her.
Yeah.
Yes, she does a great job of that. But everybody else is kind of new.
Yeah, kind
So
of.
that's
seems like
nice
that.
because, you get to
Get to meet new
discover-
people.
Yes.
See new actors that you might not have seen before.
Right.
So that's always nice.
It is. It is. It's such a funny show, you guys. So funny. Oh, excuse me. Oh, that's right. So, if you're a sci-fi fan, fantasy,
Oh yeah.
maybe you've heard of Terry Brooks. If you haven't, then that means you've been living under a
Pity
rock.
you. Pity you.
It's Chris's favorite author. Like,
He is.
when we first started dating, he told me about the Shannara series. And when I mean he told me about the Shannara series, I'm saying he literally told me about the Shannara series. We sat down and he covered all the books that he had read up until that point. And I was like, okay, that sounds awesome.
And yet she married me anyway.
Why would I not?
It would probably scare the crap out of most people.
Eh,
Now there are 25 books in the series.
yes.
And I can still sit down and tell you about everything.
Yeah, he's got a photographic memory when it comes to certain things.
Well, and I've read all of the books at least 2 or 3 times.
Yeah,
And the original
yeah.
trilogy, I have read 30 times or so.
You have to have, yeah.
Once a year at least.
Yeah.
Because it's just they're amazing stories and great characters. And now, what she's leading to is there's a TV show. Excuse me.
Stop.
Not even late. There's a TV show on MTV of all places.
Oh, I didn't know it was on that show.
Yeah, it's
that
on-
channel.
It's on MTV. And
Weird.
But don't let that deter you. If you like good fantasy, like epic fantasy,
Yeah.
unless you like Game of Thrones, then I wish you would stop watching this vlog because you don't deserve to be here. Because if you like Game of Thrones, you should see a therapist. Because it's a horrible, horrible series.
We didn't even...
Written amazingly well. Like
It is.
not horrible because it's not written well.
Correct.
George R. R. Martin, phenomenal author. He just chose to write the most depressing, crappy story imaginable. I read fantasy because the real world sucks.
Yeah.
The bad guys win, the good guys lose.
Yeah.
I read fantasy because in the fantasy realm, the good guys win and the bad guys lose.
Right.
I want to escape this crap hole that we live in for a moment and see the way things should be.
Yeah.
So when I read a fantasy novel, I don't want it to be this world and the way things work with swords and dragons.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they've...
So what's really funny, real quick, we tried watching that show, and we made it, 10 minutes into the show, and we had to stop because the brother and sister were making out, and I was like, okay, that's terribly gross.
And they pushed a kid out of a window because he saw them.
Exactly.
You know, which
Yeah.
I knew was going to happen because I read the first 3 books.
Oh.
I kept reading the books going, maybe it'll be better.
Yeah.
Maybe in the next book, someone who's worth something will actually live. And then after the 3rd book, I went, nope, not going to happen. Done.
So needless to say, after we saw that, I was like, dude, I can't watch that. I can't watch, because even if I didn't have kids, it's still the thing that happens. That really happens, people. And I don't want to see it on TV. I don't want to hear about it on the news or read it in a newspaper, which they're probably not anymore. But my point is that I just don't want to know about that stuff because it's depressing and it makes my heart hurt. And so we like to watch stuff that actually we enjoy. It's uplifting to a certain extent.
Bad things happen, but
right.
in the end, the good wins and bad loses. Good might have had to pay a price for that win. That is fine. But good should win in the end. And that's what I loved about, and still love about the Shannara books.
Yeah.
Is that they are entirely about normal people and how just normal random people can save the day in the midst of all these amazing things, all these superpowered blah blah blah, demon blah blah blah, magic going everywhere, and some random idiot is the one that saves the day because he or she, because it's been both,
Yes.
Extraordinary acts of heroism from normal people. Things that only normal people could do because they understand what's at stake. Because these people that have lost touch with, like, super powerful wizard dude, he doesn't really know what it's like to live on a farm and tend the field and just want to do an honest day's labor and go home and see your family and go to sleep and get up and do it the next day. The simple things. But the books are about people like that understanding what's at stake and what can be lost and willing to make sacrifices so that everyone else can continue having that type of life.
Yeah.
And that really appeals to me, and that's one of the things I love about the book so much, and how character and fortitude and stubbornness and sometimes is more important and more effective than having a big sword, and that's kind of the main thread of all of the Shannara books. And so there's a TV series. It is very good.
Yes.
We've seen the first 2 episodes. We're going to watch the other 2 episodes this week or sometime, maybe tonight, I don't know. But, you know, it's done really well. It's shot in New Zealand. They have amazing production values.
Beautiful.
It's like watching a movie. It's not like watching a TV show. They've done
agree.
a phenomenal job.
Yep.
But interestingly enough, even though I like it, I just finished writing up like a script for a video that I'm going to do tomorrow or Sunday about the 4 or 5 things that they've changed in it that I'm worried about. Basically comparing the way things are in the TV series to the way they were in the books, and why the changes they made for TV, while sometimes necessary, because you can't take a book and translate it word for word into a TV series or a movie because they're not the same medium. You write one way, you film and show another way.
Yeah.
So it's fine that they had to change it and rewrite some of the stuff. I understand, that's not a problem. And Terry Brooks was involved with everything, so he was okay with all the changes they made, which is good. But there are aspects of characters that have been fundamentally changed that concern me because of what it means for the rest of the story, and then the stories that come after it, because presumably they're going to tell this story, which is from a specific book, and then if it's successful, they're going to want to continue because there's 25 books, and the events that happen in this book will affect what happens in the next one, and the next one, and the next one, and this is really... They started with Elfstones of Shannara, which is the second book in the series, and this is the book where the majority of the interesting things that happen for the rest of his writing in the Shannara universe, they all trace back to this book. This is where all the things happen that set up everything that's really cool from here on out. And because of that, certain changes have me worried because they affect what these things mean. It's hard to really talk about it without spoilers. But yeah, so I'm going to do a video review about that based on the first 2 episodes because they introduce all of the characters, including characters that don't get introduced in the book until halfway through near the end.
Yeah.
They introduced them in the first episode,
yeah,
which was interesting. But anyway, I have a video I'm going to release next week probably that's talking about those things, the things that changed and why I think it's problematic. So
if you've never read the books, you'll be able to watch the show and enjoy it. I don't remember a lot of detail from the books because pretty sure I read those about 10 years ago or so.
You only read like 1 or 2.
I read 2. But the thing is that when I read a book, I read the book. I don't read it for details. I don't read it for... that's pretty much it. I don't read it for details. I read it for entertainment and enjoyment. And then if it's a book that him and I have both read, then we talk about it and we share our thoughts and such.
Which you should do that. You should learn to love the things that your spouse or significant other do.
Yeah.
And reading is one of the great ones. We read each other's books all the time and then can sit down and talk about it and really have an experience. And
I read more of his books because...
You do not. I read I've read all of those witches things and...
There's 3 books.
And I've read all of the stupid Pride and Prejudice stuff and...
We had zombies in there.
No, I've read the actual books.
Well, you didn't have to do that. What? You didn't?
Still have.
Okay, thank you.
But yes, Pride and Prejudice and Zombies was really worth reading.
It was so worth it.
And the movie looks good.
Oh my god.
So I can't wait to see that.
And if you're watching, which I know you are, you have to make a movie about Sense and Sensibility with the fishes.
Sea monsters. Sense and Sensibility and
whatever.
Sea monsters.
I didn't remember the title. I had the gist of it, but the point is, you have to make that. Okay.
They could even bring Alan Rickman back, because Alan Rickman played the main character in Sense and Sensibility.
Yeah.
They could bring him back and just put a fish head on him, and he can be the same guy.
It would be amazing. It would be cinematically incredible.
It would be a lot of fun
to watch. Okay. So, so we read each other's books. We watch a lot of similar movies and shows and such. And then, but we also have lines. I won't watch anything gory or scary or with vampires. Especially when they come out of the mouth. That's disgusting. Or the worms in the eyes.
Yeah, she doesn't like watching The Strain with me.
I couldn't watch Helix with him either because that was like that weird suspense and you're like waiting and waiting and then you're like, oh, it's not gonna happen. Okay. So you're
just
welcome.
Like that.
Anyway, so yeah, I just can't do it. I can watch some zombie movies with you, but it really just, it has to be funny. I mean, I don't want to watch scary zombies running everywhere, biting people. I mean, you would think that after you saw someone turn into a zombie that you would, you know, run away instead of staying around wondering why everybody's, you know, walking really slowly and making lots of moaning noises. Anyways, so we've really enjoyed the shows that we've just found out of nowhere the last couple of days.
It's one of my favorite things to do. Just kind of search around for new stuff to randomly watch and hope that it's good.
Yeah, he found actually something right before we started filming, and I was like, oh, we have got to watch.
He's like, I'm going to go get a brownie and let's watch that. Actually, I'm going to go get a brownie and I'm going to pee and let's watch that. Like, we got to film.
You could have left that last part out,
Just sharing our lives with the people.
That's fine because we talked about my period and your magic fingers and not to point at your crotch. So, we're good. I don't think you need to know anything else.
I don't think they need to know any of that. So that's not really a good mark to go by.
Oh, man. We are always looking for shows, as obviously he just stated. But my point is that if you have a favorite show, if there's a show that you really like, comment and let us know because we want to check it out. Chris has a work friend that has some gangster K-drama that he wants us...
Hi, John!
What'd you say to Randy since, he might be watching and we don't want to leave him
Randy! Randy doesn't watch the long ones.
Okay. So yeah, comment your shows that you're watching.
Yeah.
No pornos. And they don't have to be kid friendly because we watch all of our shows without the kids around.
So. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I think that is enough for tonight.
That's definitely
more than enough.
Yeah. Oh, I wanted to point something out real quick.
Every time. Every single time. I think we're done. Are you done? Yeah, okay. Well, it was like, oh, wait, one more thing. Every time. 53 episodes. Every time.
Not every time. This has just been recent.
Every time.
Me not pointing. If you see me staring off into space. If you see me staring off into space, it's not because I'm bored. It's because I'm thinking and I have to look at something to really be able to get my thoughts through. And I am listening. But it's hard to look at him and think and have him and try to listen at the same time. I know, I'm weird. It's okay. So
it's hard to look at me?
It's hard to look at you and not want to give you my 110%. 110? Where'd that come from?
I have no idea.
100% of my full attention. But if I look over there, I can think and hear what you're saying and process both. I don't know.
Uh-huh.
Not everyone can do 100 things at once inside their brain like you. Not everyone.
I do 100 things at once inside my brain.